Hurricane season is around the corner, and it's also Hurricane Preparedness Week. And while it historically peaks in August and September, now is actually the best time to make sure everything is in order with your home before hurricane season even begins. And that's even more important this year as home insurance in Florida has skyrocketed despite the state not being hit by a hurricane since 2018. I spoke with Insurance Information Institute spokesperson Mark Friedlander about what steps you can take to streamline everything and make sure you're financially prepared. And one big way, make sure there are no gaps in your coverage.
Many homeowners have a significant insurance gap. They are underinsured, meaning they need to update their policies. And if you have a loss and you have not updated your policy, you're not going to get the full value to replace your property. So if you have not updated your policy in the past year, most likely you do have an insurance gap and you are underinsured going into hurricane season. So it's really essential to give your agent a call today, review your policy, and make adjustments where needed.
We know that home insurance has skyrocketed in the past year, and that even recently another insurance company, I believe, either went under or was being liquidated.
Right now. It's a Tampa Bay company. Lighthouse Insurance, we just learned yesterday, has been ordered by a Louisiana judge to liquidate. So that's the second Tampa headquarter company to go insolvent this year. That makes 3 Florida insurers that have gone insolvent, and there may be more. There's a 4th company now that's in a very serious financial situation out of South Florida called FedNet Insurance Group. They did a filing with the SEC last week that showed they're in a very dire financial position and may not be able to continue to operate. So we're very concerned, and they're a large company. They're over 150,000 policyholders.
Her insurance has gone up so much with no hurricane landfall, and it's hit Floridians actually leaps and bounds more than any other state in the union.
Right.
What should people know, especially about their financial situation? What would be good advice? Even if it's not catastrophic, even if it's just some damage, I would guess there would probably be a worry with a lot of people that they're already skyrocketing insurance would go up even further, even with minor damage. What should people know?
The reason why you have insurance is for financial protection. And if you suffer a storm loss, you should be filing a claim with your insurer. You can't worry about the other issues. You need to be protected because you're paying several $1,000s a year on average for an insurance policy in Florida. And most likely a hurricane related loss is going to be well above that amount. So you need to file a claim as soon as possible if you have a hurricane related or tropical system related property loss, because that's what your insurance is intended to do. It's to protect you financially from those losses.
Flood insurance, I think, is, or at least flood damage as a whole, I think is underrated, so to speak, just because I feel like wind and tornadoes spawn in a hurricane, I think, get people's attention the most. But, like Harvey, that, it was a Cat 4, but it was the rain.
Exactly. It just sat there for days. And we've seen the last few years, the devastating effects of inland floods. We saw it with Ida last year, especially up the East Coast. We saw catastrophic flooding and deadly flooding in New York City. We saw it in New York City. We saw it in New Jersey, other areas of the Northeast. So you don't have to live along the coast to have flood worries. You could live well inland from the coast. You should have flood insurance. You shouldn't think twice about it. And if you live in an area that is not coastal, you're probably going to pay a very reasonable cost for your flood insurance. And like I said, now's the time because more and more insurers have entered the state and they're offering flood right now. So you have options to shop your coverage. You're not forced to take NFIP coverage or any other coverage. You could look at different options and see what fits your budget.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
One other great way to prepare for hurricane season is to make your home more resilient to storm damage. That means looking at roof tie downs, perhaps upgrading your garage door and your windows to wind rated levels. Talk to your insurance agent because every insurer in the state of Florida is required to provide you with discounts on your policy if you take certain mitigation steps. And your agent could help.
Friedlander also says don't skip auto coverage. Comprehensive coverage will protect you if, say, a tree falls on your car or you get flooded or hail, theft, fire, and anything that doesn't involve a collision.